Well, now, rise and grind and go get it. I am your host, Mike, man, back with another episode of RAPPERWEED TV, the podcast. For those that haven't been following the podcast or the show lately, basically, I'm about to start a new segment. And it's the story of DeDe. Basically, the chronicle, the life of my dad, Dennis Ray Jean, who passed away last Monday. Today, actually, is Monday. And it's officially been 7 days since he's been gone. And, still giving you a prelude to everything because, I want to get facts straight once I talk to family members. You know how funerals are, and you reconvene with family members you haven't seen in a minute, and you get to talk about, the good times, the good days, all the memories that you had with that loved one that passed away. And just so happened this was my dad that passed away, and it's been hard, and I don't know, I think my family in particular thinks, they know that I have a hard time accepting death. Well, in the beginning I did, but not so much now. But that's because I had a cousin that passed away on Christmas. He was found killed on Christmas Eve. Well, he was reported missing on Christmas Eve, and you end up finding him dead on Christmas Day. That's why Christmas, it's really not the same like it used to be, I guess, to my family because of that tragedy. And it's funny how his death kind of coincides as one of the memories with my dad, because my dad was the one who told me, and he was in town. Well, like I said, we'll go into, as we go along into the stories and the events, you'll see how everything kind of coincides, how everything intertwines, how basically everything meshes. And the whole point of me doing this is to kind of chronicle memories of my dad, but also something I can go back and let my kids or my grandkids look at. And and even if somebody other than say my family, or say a family or a person who was hadn't talked to their father in a while because of certain issues, whatever, domestic issues, petty issues, whatever issues, just maybe it'll help some people realize that they're not gonna be here forever. So you might want to cherish them while they're here and while you got them. Like I said, I was lucky to have had my dad in my life. He wasn't there. Put it like this: I wasn't able to experience living in a household with him, like waking up. Like, sure, I had days where I spent the night with him and stuff like that. Stay at his house at the weekend or whatever. But me personally, or my sister, we haven't had that feeling of being able to wake up every day seeing my dad, get ready to go to work, or eating breakfast, or on the phone, having a phone call, or watching a football game, or watching a movie, or taking a nap, or anything. We didn't get to experience none of that. But I don't let that take away from the fact of how much I love my dad, because I do. me and my dad, like I say, even though I didn't grow up in the same household with him, we were like this. One thing I say, and I'm thankful for, is because every day that I'm able to wake up, even though he's not here, I can look in the mirror and see his face, because basically we have the same resemblance. So, like the other day, I think it was like the third or fourth day that I had been laying in the bed crying and shit, you know, crying myself to sleep, crying when I wake up, crying every time I just sit there thinking about it. And the fourth day I got up and I went to the bathroom and turned the light on, and we have the mirror, no big old wall mirror right there. Before I walk into to the toilet to piss, and I glance over, and for that split second I saw him. Like I saw him for a split second, and that shit made me step back, and I had to look again. And I'm sitting there staring at myself, but I can see him. Like, he left me one of the greatest gifts of all, because I can always look in the mirror and catch a glance at his face. But yeah, I had to come to Monroe to, finalize the burial along with my sisters, my wife, and my aunt. And basically we're gonna, try to send Dad home in style. Like I said, over the course of, I don't know how many episodes, however many it takes, but we're gonna, give you little tidbits and stories of my life and my dad, and you're gonna see how they both kind of line up the same way. Some of the same things, some not so similar, but when you think about it and break it down and analyze shit, you will see basically, like I have a saying, that everybody goes through the same shit just on different days, and you're gonna see that. That's my purpose of doing this podcast. Now I get it. I mean, people that have loved ones passed away, I used to wonder why they would say always the first thing, you just want to hear their voice. Like, I thought that with my grandmothers, all my grandmothers, I thought that. My grandma Leola, my grandma Annie Mae, and my grandma Naomi, I thought that. But I used to, before I started to get it now, as we have more deaths in the family, like, there are some you say, I wish I could have saw you one more time, or I wish I could hug you one more time, or, but then the majority of them, they'll tell you, I wish I could hear the voice. And like, that's the most thing I would want, at this moment. Like, when my grandmothers passed away, I had dreams of them time to time. You would see them. But, this is different because it's my dad. Like, a man that I looked up to, and whether I wanted to or not, I was destined to be like him. And like I say, the reason for this series of podcasts is to show you how my life and his lined up the same way. The same shit, different day. But yeah, I miss my dad, man. I really do. Like, I wish I could hear his voice. I wish I got to see him more. I wish I took and made more efforts and strides to, see him more. One of the main things we were talking about was getting together to have dinner because, I never experienced it. Like, being able to go to a restaurant with my dad and just hang out, talk, eat food, chill, fellowship, just all that, man. Just bonding. We were gonna start doing like, stuff like that. And she's going fishing, I'm going in a heartbeat. Stop right there. And, I never got to do that with my dad, man. And I was just hoping, we were gonna start doing more shit like that. I remember the first of the year in 2020, I talked to him, Happy New Year's. That's what I told him. I say, hey man, this year, that's before the COVID shit hit. I said, this year, man, we need to plan to have a get together. Because I have 4 sisters, a little brother by my dad. I mean, on my dad's side. And, on my mom's side, I have a sister and a brother. So, and that one of them being, with my dad, my dad had a girl. So, and like, we're gonna go, from the top. I give you a story of, how he came about, it came to be, so to speak, from memories that I know and people that told me. But see, like I said, I want to get more. I want to soak up more stories, at the service or after the service this week after I get with my family. So, stay tuned, man, because, it's some interesting shit and you'll see. Like, I cannot stress that shit enough. You will see that my life and his kind of shape up to be kind of the same thing, where I had to realize, and I had an epiphany one day, and it dawned on me, like, shit, this is what that nigga went through. So I'm gonna give y'all a play of that, and we're gonna get into more episodes of Hottest Thing Smoking, RAPPERWEED TV, the podcast hosted by me, Mike Man, representing MBMG all day, every day. Y'all go ahead and punch that subscribe button when it's loud, little loud, circle for me, because the COVID I can't pass, man. I need 12 feet, 6 for the COVID. Matter of fact, you stay over there, bro. You stay over there, bro. At this time, I need a moment. I hope you can understand. But we will be bringing you episodes. And the chronicles of DeDe, the story of DeDe. Comparisons of a dad and a son. RAPPERWEED TV, the podcast. Y'all be breezy, be safe, stay sanitized, stay dangerous.